Hi guys, okay, it is February 27th, 2014, and I'm going to go ahead and show you what we have going on now on Theme2HTML. This is for how you get your deployable version of Theme2HTML to install on your own website. Okay, so notice this. When we come to Theme2HTML.com, there's a new button here called Login. Okay, so if you go to buy, then it's going to create an account for you. Okay, you can buy, you can choose one of the buttons to buy. Okay, and you fill out your information and it creates an account for you. Okay, so you're going to log in to get your license. Now, first word one, if you're buying your own, like you see on this left hand side, sorry, I'm trying to gather this, then the left side here, then that is going to be a license you put on your own server. Okay, you're going to get it, you can put on your own website. All right, and when you do, it's going to have a button inside of it that will hyperlink whenever there's an update, and you just click it and it'll download the update. Okay, so nice and simple. Updates are free for a year, and so anytime there's an update, you'll just see your hyperlink pop up when you're logged into the admin panel, and you can do that, and that's on your server. Now, for those of you who are renting, you're over here in this group on the right. Okay, if you're renting, then we put your instance on our server. You can't have it yet. Can't have it until you buy it. Okay, then you can have it. So if you want to buy it, you can buy it. And with the price differential, it's $275 if you make 11 on-time payments on this side, or $200 flat. So you might do a test for 25 bucks. Then you might decide to go ahead and buy it. Okay, that'll save you still 50 bucks in the long run. All right, so it's up to you how you want to do that. In any case, when you buy it, you get yours that you can put on your server. If you're running, it goes on our server, and we'll just send you the information so you can get access to it. Okay, which is fine. That'll work just fine. All right. It's just that when you have it on your own website, or you're buying it for a client or a partner to work with you and you have it on your own website, then you can use it for your own productions too. If you're getting one for your client, then they've got the admin control on the actual website that they're doing. All that stuff is great. Okay. You understand more if you didn't understand before. Here's the point. There's a login button. It's on the pages. So here we go. And you can log in. Now, for those of you who already bought, okay, Theme2HTML, and you have a license, okay, we already told you the email address, you know your email address, and you know what the password was to log into your admin panel, that has been kept the same. So I'm just going to say, and that's what you're going to put in these boxes. So let's hit your email address, and if you forgot your password, hit the button, okay? Put in your email address and hit the button for forgot the password. It'll send off the recovery. All right, so then put in your password, okay, and you'll be able to log in. Okay, now when you're logged in, there's a couple of things to notice. Okay, here we go. You can edit your account, you can reset the password, you can buy a new license. Yes, there will be people buying a bunch of licenses over time, especially if they're doing this for other clients and they bundle it in. In other words, you do the website work for another client and throw in the admin panel. The website work you do for them will be worth one price, but if you throw in the admin panel, heck, that's worth 3 times as much money all of a sudden, because you're giving them access to make all the changes they want. So, you could sell them an admin panel to go with their website for 800 bucks, just the admin panel. Okay, well, you're buying it from us for 200. Okay, you just made 600 bucks if the guy wants the admin panel too. Okay, and it's as simple as that. You can sell for whatever you want. You just need to know what you need to buy it from us for. And by the way, for those who are thinking rentals, yeah, I mean, renting from us is 25 bucks a month. So you could have a client that's renting from you for 50 or 75 bucks a month, whatever it is that you're charging, 125, 150. And literally, you're just pocketing the difference every single month. If the guy quits paying you, you just turn off your subscription on our end. See, that's all simple. Okay, so it's all controllable. You can do it if you want. All right, so you can edit your account. There you go. Name, phone number, address, update. Okay, so if you need to make changes, and I encourage those of you who don't have all the information here, please put it in. It's good for our tax purposes because we're in Washington State and we need to know your shipping address when we do taxes. We're going to be asking you for it at the end of the tax year if we don't have it before that. We don't really need your phone number. We don't really need your delivery address, but we at least need your zip code. okay? That kind of thing, just for your shipping address. It doesn't have to be your house. It's just wherever you would have a product shipped if you did buy it from us. That way we know what the tax charge is. We can prove you are or are not a resident of Washington State, for one thing. And that affects our taxes, is how they're done on our end. Okay, so there's that. Then there's reset password. That's just anytime if you want, reset the password, right? Piece of cake. Reset the password. There's buy a new license, brings you to the buy page, right? So whatever we have in the way of specials, whatever we have in the way of pricing, whatever's going on over here, you can do this, okay? All right, so that's up to you. Now let's go back to my account. That's what that button's for, or I can log out. Let me just go back to my account, okay? Now, when you're in here, you've got something called a download center. And by the way, you'll see what's going on with your licenses. Each of your licenses has a number. And there's, whatever transactions related to it, the amount, whether it's active or not. Like right now, I have this license, but it is not yet active. Okay. It's enabled. I can use it. It's paid for, but it's not installed anywhere. And I'm going to install it to show you how. Okay. So I'm going to go to the download center for this license, right? Boom. And here we go. I've got the theme only. I could do the plumber theme only, the landscape theme only, real estate theme only, homeopathy theme only, but that doesn't make any sense because these are themes only. They don't include the actual engine. The engine with all four of these themes is right here with this hyperlink. Download full version including all themes. That actually means this. It's the latest version, right? Whenever there's an upgrade, this is going to change. Whatever the version number is, 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 2.1, all that kind of thing. And this is the link for download the full version, and it happens to include all four of these themes. Okay, so this is what you want to download. Let me go ahead and start that. Okay, and that is exactly for this particular license. Now, the reason I keep pointing out about the licenses are completely governed by the domain you're going to install this thing on. Do not put it on a different domain than the one you want. Okay, because once you put it on a domain, it's locked to that domain. You cannot put it in a second place. Don't even try. If you do, it'll shut it down and it'll treat it like it was stolen. So just get a hold of us. We'll iron it out, figure out what domain was the one you needed, So don't worry. We understand that kind of thing. But you're going to put this on a domain, and the intention is you're going to keep that domain, right? So that matters. The domain with the IP address, wherever the domain's hosted, that's the hosting, and that's the domain, that's the idea. That's what you're buying these for, okay? And so here we go. And that's a lot like vBulletin. If you buy a forum, you're going to put it on a website. You're going to intend to keep it on that website. That's exactly the same situation, okay? Same concept. All right, so I downloaded the whole thing, okay? Now I want to install it somewhere so I can log out, all right? And so anyway, here's the point about the theme onlys. When we come out with new themes like a law theme, a Las Vegas real estate theme, other themes, they're going to be in the list. Now that I have my engine and I'm going to install it, once it's installed, then I can just download individual additional themes and put them up, okay? And so that's going to happen soon, all right? And so here we go. Let's go ahead and put this up somewhere. How do you actually install it? I'll show you how you install it. First, I got to log in somewhere where I want to install it. So let me just do that. Let me go to, okay, wherever it is that I would be putting this. And since I want to do this for plumbers maybe, or at least this is one place, like maybe you just want to do plumbing and that's really it. Well, this website's called Best Plumbers in Town. So it's just where I'm putting this instance so you can see how this goes. Okay, so what do we have to do? We basically have to do kind of three things or two, depending on whether you want to go a step further. If you want to install this on a subdomain, you can do that. And by doing that, I mean this. Okay, let me make the font bigger. I just want to make this clear. Okay, it matters, so you got to think about it. You can put it here. Okay, best-plumbers-in-town is where I'm going to put this, and I intended to put it there. I thought about it. Okay, I'm going to put it right in the root. Now, what if you wanted to put it in a because that'll also work for www dot, right? What if you wanted to use a subdomain and you want to call it something like clients dot or demos dot, demonstration dot, if you want to do something like that, then go create your subdomain. And of course, it's going to be assigned to a folder, whatever the folder is, okay? And it's going to be something like, if you went on to the server, then it would be what? It would be something like this, right? Just keep it in mind, right? Okay, and Host Monster is great, but you can put this anywhere. And if you don't know about FTP, use Host Monster because we do. That way, you're working with the same apples to apples comparison we do. So when we tell you what you ought to fix, that's because we understand Host Monster, right? If you understand FTP paths and file paths, then you can put this anywhere you want. You don't have to put it on Host Monster. If you do go to put on Host Monster, please get it through our redirect link, mochi-crew.com on redirect/hostmonster.html. Okay, and that's good for us, and so we're always asking if you would do that. It's an affiliate link, obviously, and we always like to help people out if you need assistance getting things done. And just a quick way to get there. Okay, close other tabs. All right, quick way to get there. Making sure I make this clear. All right, you go to moji-crew.com, and if you scroll down, okay, there's a resources page, Moji Resources. And if you go here, okay, this first choice is our recommended hosting option. Click on that, then click on this, and you'll be able to do it. You'll be able to sign up, and you'll be able to use need a new domain name, enter it if you have one. You can transfer it, and there you go. Okay, that's what we ask people to do. Come to our resources page and get this host monster link here. Okay. All right. Now let me get off of that and get back to where we were, which is this. If either I'm going to put this in the subdomain or I'm going to put this right on the main website. In my case, I'm just going to put it on the main website. Okay. I can always export productions and put them in different folders on that website. If I wanted to, I could export websites and put them in folders. So I could do something like this. If there's like Papa Plumber, I don't know, Papa Plumber, and he's some guy, then great. I can do a production for Papa Plumber, and he can point a domain name here if he wants, or whatever, whatever it is. Maybe it's a referral site I'm creating for him. Or it could be something like instead of the name of a company itself, Royal Plumbing, Royal Plumbing. That could be a company name, but I could also, put out productions just even as generic ones, and it could be something like Atlanta-Plumber, right? And then another one right next to it, I could export and make it Chicago Plumber. And all of these will be different websites. They'll have all their files, their CSS files, their images, and everything else. So they are different. This can be a blue website. That can be a green website. All of it can be different with different header and paragraph font choices, whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, just so you know. So I don't mind where I put the MM panel, and I frankly, personally, want to stick it right in the root. Okay, so how do I do it? Well, I'll show you. First, you need a database, okay? But we don't get it from up here. This shows me a list of the databases I have. If I'm to go to it now and look, I don't have any databases. There are no databases associated with your account. When you get a database, it's up here, create new database. We're going to create one. Keep in mind that the database name begins with whatever the login for HostMonster, this right here, underscore, and then it's going to be the database name. Okay. Now, when you do that, you also have to create a user unless you have one already. I do not have any. Okay, no users associated with my account. So I got to create a user too. And the user needs a name and a password. Okay, so whatever name and a password I wanted to create, there's just all kinds of oddball things I used to put in there. All right, so then we're going to assign the user to have rights to the database. So what do you think the suggestion would be? And you can see this however you want. The suggestion would be kind of try to make them the same thing or make them similar so you recognize them. Oh, I hate it when it does it. Let me try this. Let me explain this way. The best option is if you use 7 letter number combinations in here. You don't need to go cap and lowercase and symbols and stuff. Just make it small case letters and a number, okay? However you want. Just whatever you do for that, make it 7. 7 letters number combination, and then make it 7 here and 7 here and 7 here, because this can work as long as you have a number in it and it's 7. Okay. So like if I wanted to do this, I might go with something like, and this would be weird, but maybe it would be like we I don't know, for plumbing. Well, except I want 7, right? Like I said, so we for plum. How's that? Okay. Well, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create we for plum. I'm gonna create the username, the password, and the password again. And it's okay. My password strength is good enough, and this is going to be easy to assign and deal with. I won't have to lose track of it later. Okay, so now, whoops, I added the user, but I forgot to add the database. Let me do the database. These are 2 separate operations. Create a database on one hand, create a user on another, and then finally associate the user with the database. So I'm going to take my user from my list, the one I want, which is that one, and assign it to the database I want. And I only happen to have one in here. And so I'm going to assign that user to that database and add him. Okay. And yes, when you do it, give them all privileges. Okay. So that user, and keep in mind how this looks. All right. This is the user and that's the database. Okay. Whoops. Okay. Let me just show you what I mean. Because we're going to have to enter this information somewhere. What's the pass? The pass is not the whole thing. It is not the whole thing. It is just the end of it. Okay, Control C, because that's all I did. So keep in mind, user has to be the whole bit. It's got the prefix with the underscore with the name of the database, or the name of the user in this case. And then the database, same exact thing. But the password is only the thing itself with no prefix. Nothing like that goes in the password. Okay. All right. So for SQL databases, right? That's my user database and pass, right? That's for SQL. That's what I'm doing, creating the database. All right. Now this was easy to do. Okay. I created the database, created the user, assigned the user to the database with all permissions. Now that's like the biggest, most important thing I had to do to actually deal with this. Now, here we go. Let's do the rest of it. cPanel. Now that I have the database in place, I can upload it, extract it, and then connect it up. File Manager. So I'm back in the control panel of my account. Okay. I'm going to go to the File Manager. Okay. I'm going to go right to wherever, home directory, web root. Just get up where you're going to be in the home. Now, public HTML, right? Now, if you did have a particular subdomain that you set up and you were going to put it in there, Royal Plumbing, then you would go into that subdomain to install it in there. Now, this isn't for that. This is for something else. Okay. But if or special offer, again, I don't have it for that. But if I did have a subdomain and I set it up with a folder, I would go in there to install it because that's how you go to the subdomain to make it work, right? But I'm not doing that. I just want it in the root, literally in the root. That's just because I got this domain for this purpose. Now keep in mind, if you put yours in the root, it will overwrite your main page, okay? Or it will try to. It's going to be an index.php page in the root. So if you do not want to overwrite the page, because maybe in your case, bestplumbers.com or in town, whatever your domain is, maybe you have something important here, not this, but you have something else, and you don't want to overwrite it. Then what do you need? You need to use the subdomain concept, right? So if you go to demo.bestplumbersintown.com, okay? And that's not where I'm installing it, but if you did, you would go there and everything would be there that you would normally see here, okay? And you would log in there too. demo.bestplumbersintown.com/administrator, because that's how you get in the back end, right? You guys know that. Okay. Now again, this doesn't exist because I didn't put it there. I did, or no, I didn't install it yet, so we're going to install it now. Okay. So how do we do it? I'll show you. Okay. Go to the cPanel, put it where you're going to put it. Upload. Okay. Choose the file. Okay. Get that guy. That's it. Okay. It's uploading. Just kind of making sure that's it, but I know it is. Yep. 470. C470 or whatever it is. That's the one. And once I have it installed here, I cannot install it somewhere else. Keep in mind. Okay. Once you install it, it will not work on any other website. So only put it on the website that matters. I might need to reload to see all the files. But if I come down, I see it. It's here. So I can right-click and extract it. And extract it right here in my case because I'm not going to put it in a subdomain. So, it'll extract to wherever you are in. So if you're in a demo folder because your subdomain's called demo, and then it's going to show it that way. This will look like that, and you'd be extracting it there. So that would be fine. Well, I'm going to extract it to just the root here, public_HTML. Extract. Okay, and there, it's done. Now, here comes the magic. Let me refresh this front page. I'm just going for the first time. Guess what? I get the installation guide. And I've got all my information. Website title, that can be anything you want it to be. If I double click, I can hit website upgrade services. Call this whatever you want. Okay. Admin email address. Well, that's the email you use when you log into your account. Support at, in this case, theme2html.com. It's required for authentication to get this stuff right. Okay. And your password. Whatever that was, or whatever I want it to be anyway. And so your password can be anything you want. I would almost recommend making it the same thing as your HostMonster login or whatever, but it's completely up to you what you want to use for your password. I'm just going to use something. All right, database user. Okay, database user is going to be in this case. And I can always change my password later. Remember, with the forgot password feature, or when you log in, you can just change it. Remember what my database user, database password, database name is. This is almost always going to be localhost. Don't expect to change it. Well, let's take a look. Here's my user. Control C. That's my user. That's my database. And all I have left is the password, which is right here. Control C. And that's all I needed, right? Now, if I install it, okay, it's going to install because it can connect, and it'll say, hey, it's ready to use. I can log into the back end. Login as always, admin. And the password, again, is whatever password you had for logging in. WMS Dave I created temporarily. If you forgot your password, hit forgot password, okay? So I'm going to submit this, okay? And I can call whatever I want to call it. I don't need to save it, or I can. Okay, I won't save it because I'm going to change it anyway. I don't even need to save it. All right, I'm just going to close it this time. Okay, now you're good. You can use themes and stuff, right? Change it to whatever you want. Okay. Of course, in my case, it kind of makes the most sense to keep a plumber because I intentionally did this on a website called Best Plumbers in Town, So now when I go and I see the front end, guess what? There is the back end now. So if I go to bestplumbersintown.com/administrator, boom, there. And I just happen to be logged in. Okay, if I log out, I'm logged out. Admin, and then whatever you use for your password. Okay, don't need to do anything there. Okay. I just close that. All right, that's really all you needed to know. You're good to go. Whenever there's an update, you're going to get an update button around here. Okay, you'll be able to click it. You'll see it. It'll be like right here, I think. Okay, and it should be the same no matter what theme you're in. By the way, whatever theme you're in, if you go to the dashboard, if you change the password in any of those particular themes, like I change it from whatever I had it to whatever I want it to be next, okay? Okay. And update, okay? All right, there we go. Then that's going to apply to all of the themes automatically. So if I change to another theme, you might think, well, doesn't that use the other theme's password? And the answer is no. The password can only be one. There can only be one password. And that password is whatever you were using last of all. And again, if you forget the password, hit forgot password here so that it can send the password to your known email address, which in my case is support@theme2html.com. So I would log in there and I would reset the password that way and I can get back in Always the username is admin. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's going to help you a lot, and that's how you do the installation, and you should be good to go and able to run this thing however you want. Now, if you're going to do this for a client, it's best to get this installed on their server first, and then build them out on their server, or help them build their self out on that server if that is what you want to do. A lot of people, instead of doing the work for them, whoever your client would rather get them to find whoever's going to be maintaining their website, and they'll work with them on a couple of remote desktop sessions to teach them how to use it, how to log in and out and use the features, so that they can do that, right? And that way, um, all right, that way they can build their own site and they can rely on you if they need to ask questions. Okay, now I can say the password. And keep in mind, whenever you hover over any of these, it's going to point out, right, what it's all about there on the right-hand side. Okay, and so you can learn about these things that way. You can also hit help and support. It kind of covers all this too, right? And you can learn about it. And of course, just playing with it, you'll learn about it. So far, this stuff is really easy for people to understand and work with. They understand what to do with these things. And so that's been great. We enjoy that. All right, that's where we're at, and that's how it works. Let me know if you have any questions. Aside from that, you're ready to go. If you just wanted to know, in case you don't, how to do things in there, go to theme2html.com and hit the button for video training. Okay. There's the 6-step video trainer, covers everything, including exporting. And then down below that, there's more. Okay, we had on the video page the whole thing about the custom templates. Let me go and see where that is now. It's somewhere. All right, guys. I shall get back with you later on. Have fun, take care, and thanks a lot. Thanks for your support.